and many false prophets will arise and lead many astray. And because lawlessness will be increased, the love of many will grow cold. But the one who endures to the end will be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom will be proclaimed throughout the whole world as a testimony to all nations, and then the end will come.
Welcome back, family. I hate to be the one that ruins one of your favorite shows or movies, whatever you call this little series known as Star Wars, but I have seen some things that really prove what I'd heard some others claiming, that this Yoda character is based on a demon, and I really hadn't given it much thought. I didn't put it out of the realm of possibility, but you know how truthers like to take everything and just go really deep into it and expose how wicked it is, and it almost gets annoying because it really does ruin everything that we liked growing up, and things that just seem so innocent, like this little Master Yoda character. But I was going through some videos doing my study on lawlessness and how that relates to the end times and those unclean spirits, like we talked about in the video when we were looking at the rise of lawlessness in the end times. But this little character here showed up in the background in one of their archaeological finds, and it was a real quick little, probably 2.5, 3 second shot of this table of artifacts they found from this lost golden city that was from allegedly 3,000 years ago. I think it could have probably been a pre-flood situation, because you find these things under lots of soil, and I find it hard to believe that people would just abandon a place and dirt would just blow in at such a large amount that it would cover up all of these structures. But I'm sure that's their story, is that it was windstorms covering all this up and that people just left all of their belongings there. So long story short, I came across this, and this little Yoda looking character made me go back and investigate that narrative that this guy is based on a demon. And what I found really backs that up, because you see him appearing many times in different cultures and time periods, and not just 3,000 years ago and beyond, but again in the 1300s, in these really creepy writings from the Pope. These writings, known as the Smithfield Decretals, or however you say that word, were from Pope Gregory the Ninth. And this guy, I don't know what sort of things he was getting his animators to draw or what the motivations were, but they were very demonic. You see like these little Baphomet looking creatures drowning this guy here and taking spirits out of people, doing demonic stuff, as if to them this demonic world was real, more so than a lot of people believe it is today. But one of the images I had seen early on was of this guy here, Eliphas Levi, which I don't think that's his real name. I believe that is a more Hebrew version of his name that he changed it to. But he was a 33rd degree Freemason, and in his book he is pictured, I don't know if this was from his book or somebody just reanimated it, it says, the famous British occultist is pictured here conducting a demonic conjuration ritual invoking a demon that looks a lot like Master Yoda. And that's who a lot of people had claimed he was based on. And so I'm not even going to say his name here. And this article goes on to say that our culture comes from this cult, and movies and music are used for indoctrination. This person is not wrong. I'd like to find out who they are. But they also said that the Star Wars director, George Lucas, is also a high-ranking Freemason. I don't know if that's true. I don't want to start gossip about the guy. But one thing I found interesting is when you look in the background, you see the Baphomet character here. And when you go on to read about this guy, who he was, it becomes clear that this person, whoever it was that wrote this article and was making these connections a while back, saw some things that I had never heard of. And it's this guy, we'll just call him Levi. It says he was deeply influenced by the 18th century French occultist Barak. It was probably somehow where Barack Obama got his name. And it says, he studied the Kabbalah and became associated with the English Rose Cross. So this stuff goes deep. When you look at the Georgia Guidestones, and we were looking into that, the Rosicrucianists and all the people involved, they're all interconnected, these secret societies that deal with the dark workings of demonology and alleged magic. And it says he was the first to use the word astrolight, and it is thought that this astrolight, that the sign and wonders, lying signs and wonders. So that's what they're interested in, signs and wonders. And he explained he played a significant role in the creation of the tarot, like the tarot cards, by incorporating the tarot cards into his magical system. And as a result, the tarot has been an important part of the paraphernalia of Western magicians. He was also the first to connect the Kabbalah to the tarot. And in the 19th century, the name of Baphomet became associated with the occult. So this guy literally invented the Baphomet that we see today in the Church of Satan, and also you see some of that mimicked in the George Washington statue that we've covered in other videos and shown the connections of how these things mimic the past, the things that come out of Babylon and Egypt, the worshiping of Baal. And so it says, Levi published Dogma and Rituals of High Magic, in which he included an image he had drawn himself, which he described as Baphomet, the Sabbatic goat, showing a winged human-like goat with a pair of breasts and a torch on its head between its horns. This image has become the best-known representation of Baphomet. It was influenced by Hermeticism, Kabbalah, and alchemy, among other sources. This work was later translated into English by another of our top 10 list makers. So this is from a website where they're listing the top 10 Masonic artists or influential Masonic artists. And so you have the inventor of Baphomet literally summoning a demon that is also known as Master Yoda. And I believe that's why this little character has become so popular and pushed on our children, because they want us idolizing these images that look like demons. It's how they show themselves now that they are disembodied spirits. And they have us falling in love with them so that someday when they have some fake alien invasion or whatever, or these things are manifested, who knows what these lying signs and wonders are going to be, they want kids being excited about that. And what little kid wouldn't be excited if this little character popped up, showed itself in the real world, if that were possible, and started deceiving with their lying signs and wonders, just like their website said they're interested in signs and wonders. So the Bible has been telling us about this stuff. These unclean spirits are real. When you read the book of Revelation and it talks about unclean spirits like frogs coming out of the mouth of the false prophets and the beast and deceiving the kings of the earth and all the things that are going on, that stuff is going to happen. It is real. The kings of the earth, as you have seen now, are deceived. We think a lot of times they know everything and they're in on all these lies. But in reality, most of them are fooled into believing some of the same things that we grew up believing. And it keeps them feeling safe from being judged when they feel like the Father is so far away. There's this infinite space, Star Wars, type of space-time narrative going on where you could just travel to different star systems and all of that. The stuff is a lie, and they don't just come from the imaginations of men. These lies come from unclean spirits, from these demons, powers of darkness that we are wrestling against. Like the Bible says, it's not just flesh and blood, or it's not flesh and blood, rather, that it is these powers of darkness we're up against. And you see that clearly in the enemy's version of the book of the law that we talked about in one of our last videos when we were looking at the rise of lawlessness. And as you can see, this book also ties back into the Egyptian and Babylonian demonic stuff, because that guy that we talked about, Aleister Crowley, in his book of the law, was having this allegedly spoke to him by demons. And here's what these unclean spirits wanted him and all of his followers to believe And it goes along with that Star Wars narrative, that deep space, when he says, and this is a demon allegedly talking, "Now you shall know that the chosen priest and apostle of infinite space is the Prince Peace, the Beast, and in him, and in his woman, called the Scarlet Woman, is all power given. They shall gather my children into their fold. They shall bring the glory of the stars into the hearts of men." And he goes on to say, "Since I am infinite space and the infinite stars." So this unclean spirit wanting to put these things in the hearts of men. And what do we all grow up hearing all the time? Make a wish on a star, become a star, you're a rock star. Everything was always about the stars. Star Wars and Star Trek, you name it, they did bring this into our hearts. We were in love with it. That's why it's so hard to break this lie when you talk to people, because they are in love. It has been brought into their hearts. They accomplished their goal. They had that goal and they achieved it, but their time is running out, and the Father's Spirit is being poured out in these last days, just like we were told it would be. And that's why so many of us are here waking up and shattering the illusion. And it's tough shattering that illusion, because you lose a lot of friends, but you gain something that can't be lost, and this battle is eternal. So I thank you guys for being brave enough to share a lot of the things that we've put out there and that other truth seekers have put out there, making your own content. Whatever it is that you've been doing to help in this, we appreciate it. We have been blessed and beyond blessed with you guys being sent this way. It's an answer to a prayer. So I just want to say thank you. I can't say it enough. We really are blessed for the support that we've had. It's extremely humbling. We'll be back soon, hopefully doing some more lives once I get everything situated. But in the meantime, stay awesome, stay humble, keep studying, and we will see you guys very soon.